This is iFIBER 1 News. Here are today's top stories.
A shooting on Friday at a Moses Lake apartment complex appears to be a prank gone wrong. Local law enforcement was honored Friday night at the 27th annual Night of 1,000 Stars.
Saturday night, the Moses Lake girls basketball team had their most important game of the season so far. Big Bend women's basketball continues to stun the NWAC with their winning ways.
From the iFIBER 1 newsroom, this is iFIBER 1 News. And it starts now.
A shooting on Friday at a Moses Lake apartment complex appears to be a prank gone wrong. 28-year-old Dante Scott had gone to the East Lake Villa apartments and began pounding on one of the doors. When one of the residents looked through the peephole of the door, they observed Scott brandishing a firearm. Police say a 23-year-old man inside the apartment did not answer the door and told the other 4 occupants the man had a gun. Scott reportedly then started opening the door when the 23-year-old, fearing the man was an armed intruder, fired 6 rounds through the door, striking Scott 4 times. Police say Scott was known to some of the occupants and it appeared to be a prank on his part. He is currently listed in serious but stable condition at a Spokane hospital. 54-year-old Joe Leckenby, who also lives at the apartments, reportedly hid the weapons involved. Police plan to seek charges related to obstruction and hampering the investigation. No charges related to the shooting are expected against the 23-year-old who shot Scott. Scott was reportedly found with several plastic bags containing cocaine. Police are filing a report seeking charges of possession of narcotics and brandishing a firearm. This is Joe Utter for iFIBER 1 News.
This segment is brought to you by
Maytag and the family pooch have a lot in common. Both are loyal, both aim to please, and both are tenacious dish cleaners. But only one can sanitize. Maytag, what's inside matters.
Maytag Appliances, now available at more furniture in Ephrata.
Local law enforcement was honored Friday night at the 27th annual Night of 1,000 Stars. The annual award ceremony held in Ephrata this year recognizes officers' efforts in 2017 in DUI enforcement, child safety, and distracted driving enforcement. The event is hosted by the Central Basin Traffic Safety Task Force and honors law enforcement in Grant and Adams counties for keeping the roadways safe. The task force also recognized members of the Grant County Sheriff's Office Explorer program for their work on a public service announcement video for the state's distracted driving law. The Night of 1,000 Stars is a statewide campaign symbolizing the 1,000 badges from officers concentrating their efforts on stopping impaired drivers. Many of the officers in attendance Friday headed out on DUI emphasis patrols following the award ceremony. The event also kicks off extra holiday DUI patrols taking place across the state. This is Joe Utter for iFIBER 1 News.
This segment is brought to you by
Are your taste buds bored? Well, then bring them to Jay's Teriyaki. Not only does Jay's have a variety of teriyaki dishes, they also offer mouth-watering salads and sides. Call Jay's 509-764-5155. Jay's Teriyaki, located at 123 East Broadway in Moses Lake, because it's all in the sauce.
Saturday night, the Moses Lake girls basketball team had their most important game of the season so far. They hosted the reigning Big 9 champs Sunnyside and won 50-43. The win was big for Moses Lake to get a leg up on a Sunnyside team that's looking like the only threat in the conference right now. Outside of Sunnyside and Eastmont, the Big 9 has an atrocious record of 5-21. Head coach Matt Strophe isn't concerned with the poor records of other conference opponents and is expecting a fight from each and every one of them.
We all know each other really well. So even if Wenatchee's 2-6 when we play them, they know what we do. So they make that stuff more difficult on us.
Moses Lake advances to 6-0 and will next play after the holidays at the Cam Jam Clash for Cancer Tournament the weekend of December 28th at Central Valley High School. I'm Am Chikoski for iFIBER 1 Sports. Big Bend women's basketball continues to stun the NWAC with their winning ways. After spending 2 weekends on the road and pulling in a 4-1 record during that time, the Big Bend Vikings returned home for 3 games and won all 3 of them to go 9-1 on the season. The Lady Vikings have an undefeated record at home going into holiday break, after beating Fairchild Air Force Base, Langara College, and Portland College. Big Bend outscored their opponents 210 to 134 over the weekend, and have outscored their opponents 377 to 214 at home on the season. Umpqua is the only undefeated NWAC team left, and only 5 teams have 1 loss on the season, Big Bend being one of those 5 schools. Of those 5 schools, however, 3 of them are in the East region: Big Bend, Walla Walla, and Yakima Valley. Big Bend is currently off for the holiday break, but will return to action the weekend of the 28th, when they compete in the Skagit Holiday Tournament at Skagit Valley College. I'm Adam Chikoski for iFIBER 1 Sports.
This is iFIBER 1 News. For more information on these stories and other news, visit us online at iFiber1.com or check us out on Facebook.